Hear that? You don't get that on the BR CFE ranking show.
No, you don't.
Cheers. We just finished. So we're coming in hot. Could be good. Could run out of gas.
You never know with us, but I will say I also didn't check my microphone at all.
Oh, great.
We should be all right. I think we're fine. Producer Matt's like, really, guys, this is per usual for us.
Yeah,
also,
it's pretty normal.
Let's start with some random shit. This is like, we just did the live show, and
yes.
I got on, and I have these two lights. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see it. They're like tall lights that stand, and they go on either side of me, and they have like a blue light they show on the background, so it doesn't look so like stark. No. So I'm not so like heavily front lit, and I could not for the life of me get them to not make me entirely blue. It was the funniest thing to watch. It looked like I was putting on a light show because my arms were out like this, trying to like put each of them in there. And it just was the most comical thing of all time. But just the ridiculous things that happen behind the scenes of that show.
You know, like if you watch like a sci-fi movie, I'm a big sci-fi movie. I bet you're not. Are you a big sci-fi movie person?
No.
Okay. I knew that before I asked. But like when a ship's been in space for like 100 years and they're waking everybody up, that's like what your lights were doing. Yeah, like deep space.
That was like oddly specific about what.
You know what? This is what I provide. Useless, very specific, already off the rails. Would you like to hear my random shit? Because I teased it on right before we were going live.
Yes, we're doing this backwards today because we feel like it.
And we'll get to the playoff rankings. So this is still unfolding, but the Kramer house today got a call from the assistant principal, and I've yet to really fully debrief with my wife. But apparently, the youngest Kramer boy was in the bathroom. So first off, you hear principal bathroom, and you're like, shit.
Okay.
And then you're like, okay, but no. He was just putting paper towels in the sink and filling. And they didn't overflow the sink, but
he thought it was funny.
But he thought it was funny. Now,
was he by himself or was there an accomplice?
He was with his buddy. With his buddy, who I believe is the son of a friend of mine who I went to high school with. So, checks out, right? Now, here's the funny thing: I saw youngest Kramer boy already because he has not brought this up yet. And to be clear, this is like it. It actually. These are good kids. It's kind of fun to see them get into some dumb mischief because my other two are like
the kind of trouble
light years from it.
Yeah.
Now, what's interesting is we've yet to hear him kind of bring it up. So this is going to be the post show of because as I was about to go live, right before I'm signing on to the show, he's down here playing Madden. I go, so how was your day? He's like, good. I'm like, was it? Was it good? And he's like, yeah, I think my day was better than yours. I go, oh. I don't know about that. And like, I couldn't, I'm like putting it out there. Like, come on.
You're giving him the chance.
Let me have it. But he wouldn't. So that's what we're going to do post show is reenact whatever the hell happened in the bathroom sink at his school today. But
okay. Well, I can't wait to see his response.
Apparently, by the way, when they told my wife, because again, these kids really don't get in trouble, she started laughing. And I don't think that was received very well. Like when Caitlin started laughing, they were like, "This is not that funny." Oh no, I'm sorry, it's not. But
well, I mean, it is funny. So whoever called, ma'am, sir, relax.
It's all right.
This is the kind of trouble you want happening.
Yeah, it's fine.
And he's kids, 5, right? 5, 6.
6. Kids will be kids. He's 17 and he's clogging the bathroom sink at school. The wet bandits. It's hot. It's Christmas, right? Like it's the holidays.
Is that where he learned it?
I don't know. No, we haven't watched it. Yeah, we almost watched the other night. I was like,
wait, that would be so funny though if that's where he learned it. That would be amazing.
I need to see the tape.
That's wonderful. I'm glad we started our show with random shit today.
So now we can get to the freshly released.
Oh no, I gave it to you. Oh no, you guys. We have another random shit thing. We did predictions last week.
Oh yeah.
And you guys know on this show that I make fun of Adam every time he messes up a word or tries to read and kind of messes it up. It really brings me joy. And I, for the life of me, could not say Texas Tech. And it was coming out like Texas Tech. Like I could not get it out. And Adam, like we were working with a new producer and he was like, I'm laughing really hard because this always happens to me and not her. Could you please send me the files of this? Like, he was like, please.
Well, the other
please,
thing that was funny,
we'll get it.
You didn't say Texas Tech until like deep into each cut. So like we are clean. These are like 2.5 minute videos. Everything's great. And then boom. I've had that though, where it's like a mental block. It's not fun.
In today's show, I was talking about something, and I think it was Georgia Tech, maybe it was Alabama, but I think I said depth and something, I don't know. I could not. It's the TH. I don't know what's happening. I'm just like, something's happening. My brain cells are fighting for dear life. We're 3 weeks out from a wedding. Like
You have a pretty good excuse. In fairness.
Yeah, my brain is fried. However, we did get new college football playoff rankings today, and we should talk about those.
Okay, now we can say what we really feel about the ACC, right?
The ACC is hot garbage. But I love Georgia Tech. You're just such a hater.
So if I was reading something after we got off that I wanted to start with, because there's some little clauses in the college football playoff that Miami gets to the 11th or the 12th seed in the rankings, and the ACC champ is not. So very possible Miami gets to 11th or 12th in these rankings, but then the ACC champ and best G5 team not in the top 12 displace them. So the ACC is like, it's not like fun chaos. It's like the sack of shit conference, like that's going to make this difficult to try to forecast every week because it's just a hodgepodge, a mess. Right? So
yeah,
I don't know. I still think Miami might be alive. Where do we stand in the conference championship tiebreaker? By the way, do you have an update on that? It is really hard
in terms of terms of
who's going to the championship game?
The ACC.
Yes, and we don't
right
know
now.
because
The two favorites are Georgia Tech. Right now, the two favorites are Georgia Tech and Duke because their games are winnable, and Pitt has tough. They play Miami essentially, so
Pitt's schedule is brutal. By the way,
unless Duke, I think it's. Let's look at Duke's schedule. I believe it's because of their schedule that makes them. So they play Virginia, okay. So, and then they play UNC and Wake Forest. So they are the most likely. Those are the two teams most likely to get in because then Georgia Tech plays. They play Pitt, so they have to play them head to head. Not this week, but obviously next week. So they play Boston College and then Pitt, and then they of course have Georgia, but that obviously doesn't matter for the ACC. So basically, if they beat Pitt, they're in the ACC championship game, and I think Duke, due to Louisville and Virginia just like choosing to hate everything. I mean, we knew Virginia was going to lose. That was pretty obvious. But I think as of right now, those are the two favorites to make the conference championship. Unless Pitt wins, I don't know what Miami would have to do to get in.
It's just a big old mess. By the way, as a little sidecar here, first college basketball bet of the year is happening right now. I've got Louisville laying the points against Kentucky.
Huge. Also, something to note, Miami plays NC State. So if they beat NC State, hopefully they will, that could actually be one of the tiebreakers that could put them in over one of the other teams because Georgia Tech lost to NC State, right?
Miami still has to play at Pitt. That is such a game that Cristobal loses. That is on
the weekend that it matters to get into the
it's going to be like 20 degrees. Oh yeah, that is the Cristobal special right there. The ACC is very, very comical to me. It is. And I am, other thoughts, just random playoff thoughts. I'm very excited that South Florida is in.
Yes.
South Florida really was impressive last week, football-wise. And when you look at what they've done, I know we still have a long way to go. I was going to check the AP poll, now that we're not doing the show every week, who was, okay, so of the AP poll, South Florida was in. You had Tulane, North Texas. So you have Tulane and North Texas kind of waiting to jump in here if needed. But South Florida feels like a pretty strong consideration for this whole thing. So, and they play at Navy, at UB, and Rice. They should win those games.
Yeah, I think they will be the representative. I think obviously there was conversation also just atrocious. San Diego State was definitely in the conversation.
Jesus,
lost terribly. Like, it just is ugly.
Really
the
bad.
ACC in group of 5, 6, whatever we're calling it, a mess. By the way.
Yeah, no, a mess. I do want to lean in as we're recording this. I think we're hearing from the chair of what they thought. What do you think of the A&M, Indiana, Ohio State discussion? Is there a discussion to be had about how those teams are currently ranked?
No, they're not yet. Like, there will be, and I think maybe this week you could have made that case, but I don't think it was strong enough. I don't think Missouri was going to be the team that's going to move you into the next level. I think it's going to be something much bigger than that.
A&M has a bunch of good wins, but not great wins.
Well, if you look at it, they have 2 teams in the top 10, right? So Texas A&M has Notre Dame.
True.
And then why am I blanking on who else they played early? Notre Dame played Miami.
Texas A&M has Notre Dame. They have Florida. They have LSU. They have Missouri.
Okay, I guess not. So just one.
They have Mississippi State and Auburn.
Okay, so exactly. Okay, so literally they have one win that, and I think the people's conversation is around does the Big Ten have a strong schedule? Ohio State and Indiana don't play anybody. Indiana played. I think people are really discrediting Oregon because of the Penn State thing and not valuing that win and all of that. But
I was pretty impressed with Oregon, by the way. I painfully impressed, but no, that the weather was awful.
Yeah,
that, and that is a perfect Iowa situation. Painful loss. Don't want to talk about it
unless you're playing Oregon, because they also know what it's like to play in the rain. And
they do, and they're a pretty game team. They're content clearly to play that brand of ball. So no, I was impressed. That throw that Dante Moore made, that is as good as it gets, truly. So
yeah.
This week they're at home against Minnesota. That's a Friday. What a weird.
Also, I need to look up the kicker's name again. It was Sterling something, I think.
I'll say Oregon's last couple of games though, USC at home and then at Washington. That's not.
Sorry. Yes, it's not an easy schedule.
No.
Atticus Sappington, by the way.
Yeah, Atticus Sappington. Really shout out to the
Atticus
1840s kicker.
Yeah,
right, back in your lives. So
the other,
I don't know. Oregon's an interesting team, and I think they're ranked appropriately right now.
What about Texas? If maybe I'm just too optimistic that Arch is really going to have figured it out and be all right, this is working. But I don't know. What do you think?
I think Texas's resume has come together quite nicely, actually.
Yeah.
So, okay, Ohio State, whatever you think of that loss, it's a 14-7. It's a really good loss against the number 1 team in terms of just score closeness. Arch played bad. God, that feels like it was a year ago. Oklahoma beating them 23-6. Vandy beating them. You got some close calls in there. Kentucky and Mississippi State, fine. But I think the resume overall has been decent. The loss to Florida, no bueno. So now the problem is this schedule is a fucking problem. I mean,
yeah,
you play at Georgia, you play a capable Arkansas team, even though their record is terrible. That's an Arkansas team that's they'll beat Arkansas, they'll be a favorite, and then they play A&M, albeit at home. Banger, by the way. My goodness, what a banger that is. So Texas is right there, but can they beat Georgia? Can they beat A&M? And if they don't, here's maybe the more interesting question. let's say they win one of two of those games. So you have 3-loss Texas. Where do they factor into this? Right? Like,
I mean, that's where you get the
that's
ACC.
gonna piss people off.
That's where Notre Dame. That's where those teams. It matters what the ACC champions record is and who the team out is. So like Miami, that kicks my. I don't know. Like I think the committee is saying that they respect Texas and what they already went through. That if you were any team lower than them, in the rankings, the first rankings, you're gonna have to do something incredibly impressive. I don't know that a loss to someone like Texas A&M is gonna move them that far down. So you'd have to almost be a guarantee.
They play 2 top 5 teams in the next 3 weeks. So they're going to get grace from the committee, which it feels like they're already getting.
Yeah. I mean, the committee has definitely shown, I mentioned it in the show, like they think that Texas deserves to be in based on what they've seen so far, which is crazy, but also not that crazy.
No, I don't think it is.
Resume, yeah.
I think like the narrative be damned. It's a team has saved its season for now. Texas Tech at number 6. So
above Ole Miss.
So okay. How am I going to say this? Has Texas Tech hit its ranking ceiling? So obviously it depends on what happens. So Georgia could lose, Alabama could lose. Like Texas Tech could be climbing its way up. Texas Tech finishes the season with UCF and at West Virginia. So they're going to clobber these teams. Clobber them. Their UCF is terrible. West Virginia is not good. They'll go to the Big 12 championship game in great spot. But that's also, like, compared to some of what the other teams are playing.
Yeah.
It's not great, right?
The committee's going to punish them. So it's like a catch-22. They're going to punish them a little bit for losing to Arizona State, but they are going to factor in they didn't have Baron Morton. But that is going to hurt them in comparison to Georgia, Alabama, Ole Miss, any of the other teams that play in other conferences. Their losses are going to be less of a talking point than that Arizona State one. So I do think they have certainly reached their ceiling, even if they win out. And I don't think they'll be ranked in the top 4 if they're the Big 12 champion, because I think
agreed.
I think other SEC and Big 10 that just are getting way too much respect.
Yeah, they could get some help.
Yeah,
maintain the one loss. Could. It's like if you can maintain that, and then you get some losses from Alabama.
Yes.
And Georgia.
They've done all they can do to be in that situation. Like if they win out and win the Big 12 and all of that, great. But there's only down from here. Like if you lose to BYU in the championship game.
You want to talk about Notre Dame?
Sure.
I just love Notre Dame. It's like, so this is going to happen. Notre Dame is going to win out. They're going to host a playoff game. People are going to be mad. Should they be mad?
No. They shouldn't. I mean, I've been saying, like, there's no reason you're literally writing about it, but I've been saying for the entire expanded playoff, like, there's no reason for Notre Dame to join a conference. There's no reason they should worry about conference championship week until the committee forces their hand, and they're just simply not going to. But I also will say I think they're deserving. Like if you look at what they've done and the losses they have had, it kind of checks out. Like it seems like there are a lot of other teams that people would want in, but I don't know that they're as good as this Notre Dame team at this point.
I agree with you there. God, if they had that A&M game back, what a different complexion the season has. The Miami game, I thought they were outmatched in, so fine. It's a weird resume. I think the win over USC looks good. It's looking better and better. Boise State, Arkansas, Purdue, strength of record wise, I think they're like top 13, so it's not terrible.
Yeah.
But it's not great. I don't look at this thing and feel like, wow, look at how much they've done. The committee likes their quality losses like they do. And so
depending on the team.
Depending on the team, and Notre Dame they like. And credit Notre Dame, they're good losses. And they've done everything they need to, again, for the second straight year. I'm with you on their independence, by the way. Notre Dame should do nothing differently. They got paid $20 million from the playoff last year. All to themselves. No splitsies.
No splitsies.
That is
in this
fabulous.
economy, you'll like to see it.
Well, it's also like you forget. So NBC is paying them reportedly $50 million. The ACC is giving them, another 15, 17 million, whatever their share is. Notre Dame has this thing figured out. Like, good for them.
Yeah, they're working the system. Like I said, until they force their hand, there's no reason for them to do it. Also, they do have to play. I think the rule is they have to play 5 ACC teams or something because they're so it's like they're kind of in a conference,
sort of.
Which I mean, like the ACC needs because like their team's playing against. I mean, Pitt and Notre Dame, big game this week.
Yes, I don't know how much value. Does it really give the? I guess it does.
It does. Point. It gives them. I mean, resume boosters. I mean, their at large is going to be. The ACC will have an at large conversation for the teams that played Notre Dame. So,
congrats the ACC. There's a real football team in their.
You're
vicinity.
hanging on by a thread.
What else jumps out to you?
Nothing really. I feel like Vandy is gonna actually have a good shot at potentially sneaking in as an at-large because of the carnage in front of them. They've gotten through what they really needed to, and they play Tennessee, so it's like
such a big game. That is probably it's probably a playoff game.
Yeah,
I mean it is probably a game that the winner. Well, certainly Vandy gets in. Tennessee. Yeah. You also brought up Michigan, whose schedule is kind of a joke before Ohio State.
It's been a joke all year.
So an Ohio State game is pretty much a playoff game too, right?
I mean, they need USC to lose, which, I mean, considering what they have in front of them, they might.
I actually don't know if they need USC to lose.
They do. They have the head-to-head.
Oh, that's true. You just like one up the shit out of me.
Committing, son. That's like when we were on our live show, the bracket was wrong. I was like, guys, I think the bracket's wrong. Hello, anyone?
Yeah, USC plays at Oregon. That's no joke. They play Iowa this week. No joke.
Yeah, I mean, if they win those games, like they're very much in the playoff.
I think Utah just kind of chilling.
Utah just is not gonna. They need BYU or Texas Tech to just completely implode.
Yeah, Utah.
That'd be a fun playoff team.
Oh,
God, I want them in the playoff.
I was just thinking the same thing.
Kyle Whittingham's for sure retiring. Like he's.
Is he really? Is that the thing?
I think he's going to. I think this is going to be the last one.
So he because
this is a good year for them. I think last year he didn't want it to be that, but they've already named their successor.
That's true.
He's ready. He's getting to a point where he's ready. He doesn't strike me as a guy who does anything because it's everybody else thinks it's the right time. He kind of just wants to do it when he's ready. And it seems like he's sort of reaching that point potentially. I mean, maybe not. Maybe he says, we got this close. Let's try one more time or whatever. But it's definitely coming. I
am such a fan of his. I would love for him to do this longer and or somewhere else with more resources.
Yeah, I mean, he did do one of the most one of the things that I think about often when I think about Arizona football, things that were painful, they were up, I don't know, 20 points on us, and he did a fake punt, and I was like, all right, that's cool. I don't really think that was necessary, but all right. So yeah, I didn't love that, but I did get to meet him and interview him at Big 12 Media Days, and I am actually a really big fan of him. I also like the way him and Kehlani Sitake run their staffs. I also think it's hilarious that they have 8 coaches on either side that have coached for the other team, Utah and BYU.
Yes.
That's such good content. That's such good Utah football content. But yeah, no, I wish Utah could get in, but I think the Big 12 conversation keeps them out because I don't think the Big 12 is getting 3 teams in, though that would be sick.
For sure.
But Texas would get it over them. That was so funny that the chat was like, Texas could have 5 losses and they'd get in.
Facts. All right. Before we tie a bow on this and we talk about one of my favorite subjects, which is Brian Kelly. Anything else?
No. I feel I didn't even look at anything after, so I have not seen any of the conversations online about the playoff outside of our chat, which, you know what, that's why I like to keep it. The people that know. My favorite is in our chat, someone always says everybody in the chat aren't ball knowers. And I'm like, okay.
But that's a great phrase. Don't
ball
know ball.
Knowers. I use it on our first show because it's the number one comment. You obviously don't know ball. You're not a ball knower. Guys. Sorry, I should say it in a girl voice too, because I'm sure there's girls in there as well that are making those comments.
Oh, yes.
Not
ball knowers.
Ball knower. You know me. I'm a ball knower.
You know what, though? It fits.
Can you imagine if I referred to myself as a ball knower?
It would not go well in the chat.
The internet would.
It would not be great.
Implode.
You know what, though? Ratings, viewership would go up. General
what you're saying
vibe
is I should fill out for views.
No. No, we have very... We don't need to stumble into... we don't need to force stupidity, okay?
No, it's actually just very natural for us.
Yeah. I want... it is so funny, by the way, Modelo sponsors are...
yeah.
So, Modelo. I don't mean to be doing this. I got to be careful. I'm actually honored that they sponsor our show, but it is very much on brand that they've been sponsoring the playoff show.
It's hilarious. Also, I've had a hard time not laughing when I do. I
almost cracked
because
today.
It's so funny. And then also I have to tell people to drink responsibly, which is very funny as well.
You know what? You do a great job, though. You know what I noticed today? You say it. You do the read. You're very good at doing the reads.
Thank you.
And then at the end, you're like, and drink responsibly.
You
say it not it could be and
drink responsibly.
No, exactly. You say it with such a nice pitch. So, you do a very good job. I would be panicking doing those readings.
I feel like I'm going to mess them up every week. And for some reason, I just...
No, you do great.
It's weird. It's funny because I think about this a lot. Sometimes when I'm talking to people, I don't really say what I mean. The words are hard to come by. But for some reason, when someone is recording me and I'm live, the words just come to me. Although I will say that was not the case last week. There were words that were not coming to me, and that happens sometimes. Actually, I think it was our last AP poll show. I was like, I can't put together a thought.
See, it happens.
And I appreciate exactly where I'm going with stuff, so you'll jump in. That's the best part about doing shows with you, is that we both know where each of us needs something. So the plug and play there is great.
We can sense when there's unrest, when something is going on. And,
today when the bracket was wrong.
Yeah, so I'm like, Ole Miss is good. Hey, Kurt Signetti, Lane Given.
Yeah, wouldn't that be still fun?
It would be fun, by the way.
Yeah.
All right, I have a few stories. LSU, all right, we got some lawyering going on. So I'm fascinated by this. I'm not, because this is pretty normal. A coach gets fired. He's owed a huge buyout. The university says, all right, we'll find some recruiting violations. We're going to present those, and then we're going to settle, right? So when people ask, well, why would Brian Kelly take $30 million? Because the school, and this is bullshit, by the way, that the schools do this. The school basically says, well, we're going to slide these recruiting violations. We'll slide everything we know about you. We'll hire a PI. This is what happens. And we'll dig this shit up. And that's the way it goes. So LSU is trying to play hardball. The school had a call with Kelly's representatives. And what's really interesting, LSU took the position, this is from ESPN, that Coach Kelly had not been formally terminated, informed them for the first time that LSU believed grounds for termination for cause existed. They're essentially saying that the now former AD was not able to fire Kelly, and that the school would not owe the full amount of the buyout. I have a few thoughts. I do not like Brian Kelly. That is some
serious lawyering.
I do not like Brian Kelly. I don't know a lot of people who say outwardly, I love Brian Kelly. I hope Brian Kelly holds firm here, because this is kind of bullshit, all right? This feels like bullshit.
So I'm going to disagree with you, and here's why. Because basically they told him he could keep his job. He just needed to fire the offensive coordinator? Yeah, the offensive coordinator. And he said no. And look, I understand sticking by your guy and like all of that, but to be like so pompous and think that they weren't going to fire you if you didn't do what they said because
fine.
a change needed to happen, that seemed really arrogant to me, and I didn't like that. So I feel
they still fired him.
That's the point. They called his bluff. He was like, I have the $50 million buyout. I'm going to stick to my guns and say no. And the arrogance for me there is enough to be
I don't like him, but I also don't like that schools do this. So, yeah. But here's the bigger thing. LSU is a fucking mess. LSU, from the governor to the AD to this.
Yes.
Lane, this was going to be Lane's best destination.
No, Florida is, but.
And now it's Florida, or it's Ole Miss, right? And I tweeted about this. Ole Miss fans were like, "You fucking idiot! Ole Miss is the best." It's like, okay, buddy, relax. So I would not go to LSU though.
I wouldn't either.
Not with this.
Too much.
The expectations are enormous. The administration's an absolute disaster. Like they're fumbling this. This is the one thing you can't look is dysfunctional. Now, there's a lot of people that would still want this job. It's a job that's going to pay well. They recruit. There's a lot of perks about this job. But I'll say this. If you're like a candidate, a Lane or one of the other favorites to get this, like you got to be looking at this like, fuck this.
Yeah.
This is bad.
Yeah, this is a public shit show and you don't want to be a part of it. And that's something that I think Lane like genuinely will take into consideration because he doesn't want to be a part of that. And that's a positive thing. So, I mean, do you think that he stays at Ole Miss?
I think there's growing optimism.
There's a big part of,
I think the vibe I get talking to people is that there's some growing optimism that maybe this happens. I still think Florida and LSU, despite this fuckery, is uber compelling. But, to the point we made about Cignetti, for what?
Yeah.
He's a god there and could fumble around for like 3 to 5 seasons and probably still be a god. Like, and he's going to be maybe the highest paid coach in college football by the time this is all said and done there. I don't know.
Yeah, and I don't know. Like, I just don't think it's worth the volatility around college football and taking over a new program and having to start over when you already are a college football playoff team at this school just feels like a really dumb move at this point in time because the chaos of it all has been really bad. And I will say we had like a coaching cycle like a couple years ago again when, Lane was potentially going to go to Auburn and things like that. Look how that's worked out for coaches that have like taken those jobs and those openings. Like it just really hasn't gone well. So I just don't feel like it's worth it I just think it's like read the tea leaves and just be like, hey, because which I think is something that Lane Kiffin would do.
Well, I think he's found peace in his life.
Yeah. Yes.
And so I think he's probably going to be more thoughtful versus chase this like he did, like and fall upwards, right?
Yeah.
So but at LSU, like just the juju is bad. Like it's just not good. And there's so much that is good about that football program. But like from the president, like all of this shit is
it's a mess.
A fucking train wreck. So, it's still a great opportunity. It's an awesome job. He's got to at least look at it. But like money isn't really a factor anymore, I don't think.
No. Well, that's sort of how I felt about like the Brian Kelly thing. Like, yes, I know they want to pay him less, but like at what point, I mean, sure, you want to get all that. Also, I don't know if you saw this. This is like I don't really have a take on this because I think everybody has their own thing, but Hugh Freeze's daughter went on the internet and on TikTok and basically was like, think about the families and, that are impacted by this. And like, it's been hard for our family. And I think a lot of people were like, this is really out of touch because like your dad's getting paid $15 million not to coach there. Like when there's like people not receiving paychecks, like all this stuff. But it's just like, that's what I mean by like the sport is just so volatile right now. Like,
you know what?
It's just not.
I don't defend Hugh Freeze a lot. nor did I see this post. Obviously, money is a sensitive subject, like across the board. It doesn't mean that what they've gone through isn't incredibly disruptive and shitty.
Yes.
Right. And then like
and embarrassing. Like it's
embarrassing.
a public,
like
it's a
especially
public
for
thing.
him.
Yeah.
Again, I ain't defending Hugh Freeze. Like the guy's playing golf and getting $15 million to go the fuck away. Great.
Yes, but it is definitely something that is
the shit like we read relative to the shit that he's had to deal with. Like it can't be fun. I get it. A lot of money. It solves a lot of problems. It doesn't solve all of them. So there are worse positions to be in for sure. That being said,
he's one of your favorite memes on the internet.
What's that?
Hugh Freeze. He's part of one of your favorite memes on the internet.
Oh God, yeah. That guy's got a couple.
The hospital bed.
Hospital bed's one of the greatest ever, man. Like
the picture.
The guy produced. He you think he'll get another job? He'll get another job.
He will. If I were him, I'd maybe take a beat, but who knows?
Yeah, I think he will. Take a little cool down. So Bill Belichick. Now, all right, I'm gonna give Bill a little bit of credit. UNC's playing a lot better. They are. They've gotten a lot better. And the Giants' job is open. I don't think Bill's getting hired in the NFL. He says he's focused on UNC, and they are playing better.
Mm-hmm.
So let's take a temperature check on Bill Belichick. I'm not going to ask you if he's going to coach the Giants because I just don't think that's realistic. I just don't. But is he still there week 1 UNC next year? Things have calmed down. I thought he would be gone in a few weeks.
If he does leave, I think it will be... Yeah, I don't know that he's going to get an NFL job.
I think he's still gone.
I think he's... I was just going to say, I think
he's going to go... I don't know. Maybe there's better. There's some hope there. Truly, there is some hope.
I think he leaves on his own. I don't think it's a choice that the school has to make. I think it's a mutual thing.
Agreed.
They put out a thing that's a mutual thing because it's just going to be in the best interest of everybody. I think he realizes how deeply this has tarnished him. It's not helping him get an NFL job. And I think ultimately that's sort of maybe what people thought he was doing this for. But he took it because he wasn't getting an NFL job and he wanted to still coach football. So
if the Giants offered him a job,
that would be stupid.
Yes. He would
leave tomorrow.
Tommy Tuberville,
kids, see you later.
Leave at lunch, dinner, whatever, and you would just see his shadow.
Yeah.
Leaving.
So
you'd
see like lint from his hoodie, left behind.
It's interesting looking at the headlines right now across college football. Belichick's one. Mike Locksley at Maryland saying he's, confident in his job status is another. And then you got Jed Fish, one of your favorites, who says, who
lost to Wisconsin.
Loves it at UW. Loves it.
Even though his family lives in Arizona.
That's a shit loss, by the way.
Oof. That is a terrible loss.
That's a wretched loss.
You were trying to convince me that was a good hire at Florida.
True.
Factual. You know who guy he is, though, right? He's a Bill Belichick guy.
Yeah, I mean, like, Drinkwitz, him, not a great week for potential Florida coaching candidates, right?
Well, Eli's got a, third-string quarterback playing for him and all those things. That's a little bit.
Oh, I see. I bet Missouri. It's bad.
That justifies that a little bit more than losing to fucking Wisconsin.
It's so bad. I was watching that game. Just shit weather. Just like, God, this looks awful. Last one. Mike Norvell says Florida State will win a title in the near future. Do you believe him?
I think he believes him.
Well, that's not the question. Of course he does. He's a full of shit football coach.
That's the point. It's like, I just don't know. He said ACC title, right? Or was it
hold on,
national championship? I believe it was ACC title. Which, again, you got to be coaching there to win an ACC title. I think Florida State can win an ACC title without him.
They're going to run it back with him like Wisconsin did. It's going to be the sad, like we're invested in NIL. We support our coach, right?
Yeah.
They would have done this already.
Yeah, this feels like very Gundy-esque of like, okay, you'll keep him for another year and then you'll invest
Super
in
fired.
NIL, take a pay cut, all the things, do all that work, and then you lose your first 3 games of the season, 4 games of the season really badly,
like,
and then you're
major
out.
fired, like galactically fired.
Which is stupid to me that you would waste a year. Like if you know that you're gonna fire him and if
Correct.
he loses.
Correct.
It that just seems so dumb to me.
Cheap. I mean, I don't have to pay it, but it's a lot of money.
That's true.
I you know what? I don't think he's a bad coach.
No.
And the ACC is a shit show. So you could probably return him and feel reasonably confident that things will be better.
He proved that they could be basically a playoff team in the expanded era.
It's weird. They've had a weird. I mean, they're bad. No, there's no actual good and bad. They're just bad.
Don't try to spin it.
I'm out.
Good try though. That was a cute attempt. It was.
No, I was gonna do it. So, all right, how do we want to do this? We are recording this early, so I did not have my locks established until about an hour ago. Less. I do feel pretty good about them. So, do we want to talk about the slate, or do you want me to go right into locks?
Let's go right into locks, although I will say, do you have Arizona in your locks at all?
No.
Upsetting because I think the Cats, by the way, still possibly alive. There's a possibility of
for
Big 12.
Sake.
I mean, there would need to be literal chaos, but
I actually, so it's funny you bring that up though, because while I didn't have them in my top 5, that line feels a little light. That 6.5 feels a little bit light. So they may end up in locks, but probably just not in the top ones.
All right. Well, let's go straight into them.
All right. So I bet Georgia minus 6.5. I just
they're at home.
Versus Texas. I don't feel great about it, but I just don't trust Texas on the road. I think Stockton is good. I think the game is going to be a little bit ugly. Georgia can play ugly. Like this.
Yeah. They come out on the better end of ugly.
I think this environment's going to be crazy. I worry about Arch in this setting. It's not a great Georgia defense, but
no,
these two teams are like the exact opposites of each other, right?
Yeah.
But I think Georgia is overall just a better team. So
yeah, I would actually say that I'm not going to ride with you on that because I think Texas will cover.
I think it's very possible. I don't feel great about that game. I do feel really good about this game. Duke, minus 5.5 versus Virginia. I think Virginia is very bad. And Duke has fucked me so many times this year. I said I would not bet them anymore.
And here we are.
Producer Matt, by all means, highlight this area where I said I'm not betting Duke anymore. I'm betting Duke. And we'll see what happens. Riding or dying with that.
I am going to ride with you on that because I have faith in Duke.
Now, I know we're going to go on this next pick, and I'm at peace with it. TCU plus 4.5 at BYU. This line is bananas. TCU was not good last week. BYU obviously lost, but it's a little bit of an emotional letdown spot, right? BYU, everything is still on the table for them. I think this is a problem line for BYU. So I'll take TCU here.
I'll ride with you on that.
Wow. Shock. Yes.
It's mostly because I actually think TCU has a really good secondary. And so I think they actually can cause some problems for Bear Bachmeier.
It's a weird team, TCU. North Carolina plus 6.5 versus Wake Forest. We were on Wake last week.
Wake.
I like how North Carolina's playing. I do.
Okay.
I'm Bill
All right,
Belichick's getting rumored for NFL jobs. Fuck it. Let's ride. North Carolina.
I'll take it.
This last one hurts, Paige. I'm not going to lie. USC minus 6.5 versus Iowa. Now, I keep it real here. We bet Iowa last week. Although they lost, we covered. I had a money line parlay that really fucked me, but other than that, we covered. It's a bad spot for Iowa. It's a bad road trip. I think there's going to be an emotional letdown from that game. I think I'm shit on Lincoln Riley, but I think this is a...
Well, I'm glad you found that around.
Now, I will say the only factor here is Iowa will be a tougher team. Like they are. Yeah. This is the classic narrative. But I think USC can sling it around. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think Iowa covers this game.
Okay. I will go with USC too. Wow, we're pretty much on the same page except for what? Texas Tech.
Bonus lock.
Or I mean, technically.
I never take lines like this. Bonus lock. And you get the rest in the Bleacher Report app or on BleacherReport.com if you're an old like me. Indiana, 29.5 versus Wisconsin. Indiana is going to win this game 55-10. They are going to win this game aggressively. Kurt Cignetti is going to grind Wisconsin into dust.
Yep.
I did not pick Alabama, Oklahoma. We talked a little bit about it on our live show. I'm really interested in what you think is going to happen in this game. Now, Alabama has not played great offensively. Like I'm not out on Alabama. I think they're really good. I think the grind is catching up to them. So you have two teams that have endured this grind. The line is 6.5. I kind of want to back Alabama, to be honest. I'm wondering if I may add them into my locks because the more I think about it, I'm not a believer in Oklahoma. I'm just not.
I think
you can just talk
obviously I think Oklahoma's defense can be really good, but I just think Alabama's just a more complete team. They certainly, and when they falter in some like big places, whether it be offensively, like they just make up for it in other ways. And I think just talent wise and just seeing how they've handled each of these games on their schedule the last couple of weeks, I just feel like they really hit a rhythm, whether it's like, okay, if there's an off game, you make adjustments and they figure it out. Like it just ends up being totally fine for them. And that's why I'm kind of like, I just don't see Oklahoma having the same sort of like grit there.
Is Pittsburgh, is Notre Dame at all on upset alert against Pitt?
I don't think so. I wish, but I don't think so.
This game, Northwestern, 12.5 points against Michigan. It's kind of interesting.
Can you imagine Michigan? I mean, to cover, yes, but I don't think. If Michigan lost.
I think I kind of like Northwestern. I may have to redo some of my locks. I lied.
Lying to the people.
I'm not lying to the people.
It was my fault. I did make us record early this week because I do have to go into the office this week.
South Florida Navy is another game that I looked at, which is pretty interesting. We talked about it. South Florida, now freshly in the bracket, plays at Navy and then closes at UAB and Rice, and then potentially conference championship. So that is another one that I think is interesting. It's not a superb week.
No, but there will be movement. SEC and Big Ten wise, I think we'll see some shakeups.
Ohio State minus 32.5 against UCLA. Jesus. It's bad.
Yep. Brutal.
All right. Anything else?
No, because we did our random shit already.
We already did random shit.
I think we're good to go.
All right. Louisville, by the way, 46-32. You know what else I did this game? Oh, I just missed
basketball, by the way. Just a reminder for everybody.
Yeah, although who knows this day and age. I bet the first half. I did a little first half bet. So first half minus 3 and a hook. Like that's feeling pretty good. So all right.
Nice.
College basketball season is off to a decent start. All right.
It is, especially for the Arizona Wildcats.
Oh my God. Yeah. Like they're a thing.
I was
yeah.
hyped.
No, I'm pumped. College basketball is just a wonderful thing to have on.
I love college basketball.
Me too. It is grown wonderful to bet. So many options. So we will focus on that. All right, we got to get out of here. For Paige, I'm Adam. We will see you guys next week.